Hello ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and welcome to part 2 of What If Naruto Had a Reality Kekkei Genkai. I've been gone for a little while, and for those who know, you know why. Basically, I'm in my half term, but I've literally, only fun thing I've done in my half term is go Southend and swimming, and that's in 2 weeks. And that's all because I've been doing scripts for YouTube, spending time on YouTube. Like, my mate came round and I was literally sitting on my PC for 2 hours working on YouTube videos. So I ended up crashing. I was so sleep deprived. How do I explain it? So I was staying up from when I'd woke up, and I'd stay up to 7 in the morning just working on scripts. I hear my mum's alarm go off. I realise it's light outside. I go, fuck. And then I'd end up going to bed, literally waking up with 4 hours of sleep, going straight back to scripting. So I just crashed. I ran out of sleep, and then I've crashed and I lost the urge to make videos. I ain't got it back, but it ain't as bad as when I didn't make videos for 6 months. It was just I lost the urge to keep on writing scripts. But look, I'm back here now. Normally when I lose the urge, I'm gone for weeks. But other than that, guys, that's what I really wanted to say. This video might be short because I was struggling so much with this script. I couldn't think of any good ideas. I ended up having to rush it. You realise where I rushed bits. But other than that, guys, I'll give you the ASMR early. And let's just cue the intro. We now go to Kakashi, who has been released from this genjutsu, but very confused. He admits he lost. After this, the rumor spread among the village that Naruto beat the legendary copy ninja Kakashi with ease. And as such, the rumors about Naruto spread far and wide. When I mean far and wide, I mean to other villages. Roughly a week has passed, and Naruto is with Fugaku as they are heading towards the Hyuga compound. As they are walking, Naruto asks, "What are we doing?" And Fugaku just replies, "You'll see." Roughly 2 minutes before they arrive at the Hyuga compound, Hiyashi Hyuga appears from the shadows. For those who don't know, that's Hinata's dad, the leader of the Hyugas. At first it was pure silence, until both smiled and hugged each other as if they were best friends. Hiyashi said, "So this is your son you're talking about? You really believe he can copy the Byakugan?" Hearing this, Naruto says, "The what?" "I can copy the Sharingan, so you think I'll be able to copy the Hyuga clan dojutsu?" Hearing this, Hiyashi is impressed and says, "Your boy is very well informed. Your boy is very well informed. I wish my daughters had that sort of intelligence. Even if you can't do what you believe he can still be considered a prodigy just by that intelligence." Fugaku agrees with this, but then says, "Let's get on with this." Hiyashi activates his Byakugan and Naruto looks him in the eye. After analysing the Byakugan for a moment, Naruto pauses and pictures it in his head, and then yells, "Byakugan!" Suddenly, the veins on both sides of Naruto's head bulge as they connect to his eyes. Although Naruto's rainbow eye colour didn't change into white, it's obvious that he now has a Byakugan activated. Hiyashi mutters incredible, while Fugaku just laughs. We now skip roughly about a week of Naruto training with the Byakugan and all that. We now go to Team 7 as they are all gathered in the Hokage's office and are assigned a C rank mission. They are given this C rank mission instead of a D rank due to their team already having superior teamwork skills and Kakashi and Naruto. As Tazuna walks in, he begins to hurl insult at them until he gets to Naruto. He then says, "You good for nothing, Brett. How are you going to protect me? I bet your mum still hit..." 1 second. "How are you going to protect me? I bet you still cry when your mama hits you." Naruto then gets pissed off, but he knows he can't do anything too obvious or he'll get in trouble. So he then just laughs and says, "I suppose you're right, but she'd really be drinking. The only time I ever drank was by accident when I picked up my father's drink by mistake. And it felt so hot going down my throat as if it was burning. I would hate for that to happen to you." Naruto smirks as his eyes begin to glow slightly. Suddenly, Tazuna's eyes widen as his liquor becomes boiling hot. Like the drink he was drinking is like boiling hot now, burning his throat, and he spits it out along with the blood that came along from the burns. And then says, "What the hell?" And then he screams again, throwing the bottle, which is now also boiling hot and burnt his hand. After this, although Tazuna didn't really know it was Naruto, he had a feeling in his gut, so he didn't mess with him again. Team 7 then left the village with Tazuna and began to head to the land of waves. While they were walking, Naruto saw the puddle, and at first thought nothing of it until he felt this feeling of like a tingling sensation all over his body, as if his sixth sense was telling him there was danger. As soon as this happened, 2 ninjas jumped out of the puddle and sent chains to wrap around Naruto and Kakashi, but for some reason Naruto's eyes glowed and the chains just rubbed off him like he was covered in butter. But they tore Kakashi apart. Seeing this, Naruto immediately realises what actually happened. Kakashi ain't dead, and he grabs the chains. Even though they were covered in spikes, when he grabs them it's as if the spikes disappeared, and he yanks both the ninjas towards him, simultaneously, and simultaneously, that's the word. Oh wait, what? Towards him, oh yeah, and simultaneously both him and Sasuke kick them in the face and slam them into the ground. Naruto's face turns cold. He's no longer smiling, and he says, "Enough games, let's get this over and done with." His rainbow eyes glow, and the ground beneath the ninjas become liquid, swallowing them and becoming solid again, burying them alive. After this, a sword comes flying at them. Kakashi yells "Dog," but Naruto doesn't, and Sasuke seeing this, he doesn't either. He's grew up with Naruto. He knows if Naruto's safe not to do it, so is he. Naruto's eyes begin to glow, and as the sword hits them, it bends like rubber, and then it bounces back. Sabasu, caught off guard with this, catches his sword and lands in a tree. He then asks, "What do you do to my sword?" Naruto looks up with his rainbow eyes still glowing. "What sword? It looks more like a dagger to me." Sabasu laughs and says, "A dagger? What are you talking about?" He looks down on his sword and realises it's shrunk down to the size of a dagger. Naruto, now with his eyes glowing even brighter, says, "I think you should get off that tree before it grabs you." Zabuza isn't stupid. He now understands that what Naruto is saying is becoming reality somehow, and he jumps off the tree. But suddenly, as if the tree was alive, the branches wrap around him, slamming him into the ground, and then releasing him. Naruto is now laughing till he can't breathe, can barely get the words out. You're meant to be a legendary swordsman. You're a disappointment, bruv. Look how easily I beat you." Zabuza, now enraged, grabs his sword, and Naruto says it's no fun without a big sword, is it? So here, Zabuza's sword returns to its original size, and he rushes towards Naruto in a fit of rage and swings his sword. Naruto doesn't move though, as he has trust in his team, as Kakashi blocks the swing with his kunai. And then says to Zabuza, "I think you're forgetting who the sensei here is. You ain't getting a single chance to hurt my students." As Kakashi and Zabuza begin to fight, it seems to be that Kakashi's easily winning, due to Zabuza being distracted by Naruto, like he's always on guard for Naruto, until finally, Kakashi gets a bit too cocky, and he gets caught in a water prison jutsu. Zabuza begins to laugh, and says, "It's over for you now, what are you gonna do? I got your sensei." Naruto doesn't give a damn about this. He goes, achoo! And sneezes as the water prison jutsu is blown away. Now bored with this, waves his hand, and the water that they were all standing on rises and wraps around Zabuza's arms, making him unable to move. Sasuke sees this as his chance to shine, show off to Naruto and Kakashi, and rushes in to help. Naruto smirks as he is proud of Sasuke, getting the chance to he's proud of Sasuke for not letting everyone else do the work for him. And he watches with a smile until his sixth sense yet again rings again. He activates his Sharingan, which slows down time slightly for him to perceive it, and he just sees a blur flying towards Sasuke. In a panic, not knowing what to do, he yells, "Stop!" Suddenly his eyes glow blinding bright, like it's a beacon, bruv. And he looks around as everyone is frozen. Naruto is confused, walks around, and he finally realizes time is frozen. He froze time somehow. But he begins to walk towards Sasuke. Naruto's heart drops. when he sees the blur he saw was someone wearing a mask, and they had a sharp senbon in hand, right near Sasuke's neck, ready to kill him. Rage boils up inside of Naruto, as his eyes become red, like Kyuubi red. And he gets multiple emotions inside him. He was confused. He tried fighting against them, and it spiraled out of control. New emotions he's never felt before. As the Nine Tails begin to seep out of Naruto, and Naruto roars in a fit of rage and swings at Haku with full force, while time still frozen, keep in mind. And this absolutely obliterates his mask, and even though time is frozen, Haku begins to move, from the force that Naruto's punch had behind it. As time unfreezes, a massive boom is heard, as Naruto broke the sound barrier technically if you think about it. And Haku flies away. Sasuke sees Naruto slumped over in red chakra, and Sasuke stutters, Naruto, are you alright? Naruto's Kyuubi eyes shoot open, and Naruto stares at Sasuke and swings his full body attempting to punch him and claw him. But just before it lands, Naruto catches this with his other hand, and yells, No! Stop! Sasuke, run away now! I don't know what's going on! Sasuke of course listens as Naruto falls to his knees and screaming in pain as these emotions inside him are fighting for control. He goes inside his mind, and Naruto is being drowned in chakra until his eyes glow, and he screams. He forces it all to evaporate, catching Kurama off guard. The Nine-Tailed Fox yells, You damn brat, just give control already. Why is it so hard to take control from you? Naruto looks up with a smirk and says, It's because I have people to protect, and I'll be quiet or piss off. Kurama laughs and says, You're quite the mouthful, you brat. I just wanted to figure out what your power is. I wasn't going to hurt anyone. Naruto yells, You lying bastard! You tried to punch my brother! Kurama laughs and says, That happened because we were both fighting for control, and and my animalistics and your animal instincts went berserk. Ain't my fault. Don't blame me for you being some stubborn little... I'm not going to say that word. After about 5 minutes of arguing inside the head, who is to blame, Kurama finally says, Brat, you're different than other people. You're different than other people. I sense no hatred in you. Sure, there's anger, rage, even a bit of sadness. But never once in your life has there been hatred. You're just like that old man. But your eyes are the same from the ones in the legends he told us. I only want to figure out your power. I don't give a damn who's in control, whether I'm stuck inside you. Naruto thinks for a second and says, How about we figure it out together, but we'll figure it out later, because I gotta go beat the shit out of that person who tried to kill my brother. Kurama laughs and says, Fine, I'll give you some chakra, but don't get too cocky. We now go back to the real world, where Naruto's eyes have become rainbow again, but still have that like Kyuubi pupil, you know, when they become slanted and sharp. Naruto's now taking deep breaths and says with a smile, I'm back guys, don't worry. As he turned to face Haku, who is standing up, still dizzy from the first punch. Oh. Naruto roars and says, You tried to kill my brother! As he rushes in and uppercuts Haku into the air, and then grabs Haku by his ankle and slams him into the ground over and over again. Like, you know when Meliodas and Barn had their fight and he just got him by the ankle, slam, 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 slam. That's what man was doing. Naruto seems to make... After this, Naruto releases him, but seems to make the gravity around Haku heavier, as he can no longer stand up, and all he can do is just lay there. Naruto then looks at Zabuza, and sees him still fighting with Kakashi, and smirks. All of us... He rakes his hand in the air as his eyes begin to glow. All of a sudden, a tsunami-like wave, like a massive wave, just appears, and slams, it appears out of nowhere and slams into Zabuza, nearly drowning him. As Naruto begins to lower his guard, he turns to see Haku had escaped, and used the Ice Missile prison jutsu on Sasuke. Now no longer powered up by Kurama, Naruto just runs over as he hears the screams from Sasuke, but also the yells from Haku, and he sees the red flames. Naruto runs in and punches the mirror, but it barely cracks. Unfazed by this, Naruto places his hand on it and his eyes glow. He yells, Melt! As the entire jutsu begins to melt and is released. What Naruto sees shocks him, as he sees a bloody Sasuke covered in these senbon needles, but still smiling, as well as a Haku who is bloodied as well, covered in cuts. He looks closely at Sasuke and sees he now has a Sharingan activated. Naruto smirks as he sees Sasuke is enjoying this fight. Naruto looks at his injuries and with just a thought, they all instantly heal. And without his mirrors, and still like concussed by Naruto's punch, Haku is having trouble keeping up with Sasuke at all. As finally Sasuke lands the final blow to his chin, knocking him out. As this happens, Kakashi has caught Zabuza with his summonings and uses Chidori. As if by the pure power of his will, Haku manages to stand up and at full speed rush towards Zabuza, taking the blow for him, as the Chidori rips through Haku's chest, making him fall to the ground lifeless. Zabuza watches this and at first seems unfazed, till finally reality sets in, and a single teardrop falls from his face as he falls. He falls to his knees, crying, bawling out in tears. Naruto, feeling bad for him, walks over to him and just thinks, oh, I wish I could just make it stop. That's when he realises, wait, what if I can? He says to Zabuza, I can make the pain go away, you can live your dream life with Haku. But the life you live now, the past and the people you have once known will no longer exist. Zabuza, still crying, agrees, not even sure what Naruto is talking about. So Naruto lifts his hands and begins to concentrate with all his power, and his eyes glow bright red. Naruto just imagines a reality where Zabuza and Haku can be happy, they're alive, they're a family, without the need to hunt and kill people. Zabuza's behind Haku's body, like if you watch Wreck-It Ralph, you know when that girl begins to glitch, that's what's happening to their body. They begin to glitch and fade in and out of reality, until finally they both disappear. Naruto smiles, as even though it was just a guess that he might be able to do this, he actually sent Zabuza and Haku to another reality where they could live the life they wanted. Naruto, after doing this, passes out. He wakes back up in the Leaf Village to find out he's been asleep for 2 weeks. Before anyone can come in and make sure he's okay or even clear him so he can leave the hospital, he gets into his clothes and climbs out the window, and immediately runs into the forest of death to train. He begins to talk to Kurama, and first asks a few questions, finds out he's the Nine Tails and all that, and then asked about his powers and the prophecy that Kurama talked about. Kurama says, I believe you're one from the prophecy. If it's true, you will carry this world on your shoulders into a new age of shinobi, into a new reality where no one suffers, no one is alone, a truly heavenly place where death and pain does not exist. Hearing this, Naruto gets excited and even more ready to train. Naruto spends the next 2 hours training, as he feels that he has made more progress in the last 2 hours in this training than he has in the last 5 years. It's as if his new determination is making him grow faster than ever. As he prepares for another round, suddenly Itachi and Shisui appear and bonk him on the head, saying, You idiot, we've been looking for you for hours. You just woke up from hospital, everyone's worried about you and you already jump out the window and start training. You need to take a break once in a while to heal. Now come on, let's go home. The day after this, Naruto is told by Kakashi that he's been volunteered for the training exams, and they have a week to train. Hearing this, Naruto immediately ran home and asked Itachi and Shisui to help him train. But before they can even reply, Fugaku appears with a white-haired man and says, Naruto, come with me. They go into another room. Fugaku said, Naruto, I know you've never asked about this, but I think it's time we talk about who your real parents are. But anyway guys, I hope you did enjoy. If you did, make sure you share with your friends, family, like, subscribe, comment down below, hit the notification bell. Get me to 22,000 subscribers. I even forgot to say, we hit 21k. Oh, but I do appreciate it guys. Go down to the description, yeah, join my Discord server, add me on Snapchat, follow me on Instagram, subscribe to my standard artists, and yeah guys, other than that, peace out. I hope you do enjoy it, and a lot of love. See you in a bit.